What's going on YouTube? It's going down becoming from Gonzalez Japan Pinku style podcast studio. Got an in guest. Got my guy Jared here. So this is going to be this is like the first in shop guest I've had in a while and everything. So we're talking a bunch offline. Actually, we did like a whole damn podcast pretty much offline and everything. So just to get right to the topic, because I'm pretty sure you'll clip it for your Instagram and stuff like that. So Jared here is the first. Actually, the first official member of my Pinku style PS01TS and coilover system and everything. So essentially, man, welcome to the team. Welcome to the party. As I said before, just make it official online. So again, guys, there again, promotion. This is the Pinku style PS01TS, my own coilover that I developed over the last like 7 months, and put it out to the market and things like that. So it's pretty cool, man. I mean, when I got into this game 20-something years ago, I never thought I'd be holding my own coilover or have my own coilover and stuff like that. And, I mean, motivation stuff out there to the guys in the beginning, just like, I mean, keep pushing, man. Keep making things happen. Stay positive no matter what's out there. And just keep grinding and staying in your lane no matter what people say, and you can make stuff happen. It just comes down to time and money. That's all with everything in life. And if you utilize your time properly, utilize your cash properly, you can do pretty cool stuff. So anyway, again, I'm actually going to get all my drivers eventually onto the podcast sphere, either being in the studio for the guys who are in Japan, local to Misawa, and then most of the guys will be on Zoom and Skype, as you guys have seen before. So definitely stay tuned to that. So again, this is the first public announcement of one of the drivers and everything. So again, Jared, before we get into it, man, just introduce yourself, name, age, where you're from in the States, and then essentially, man, how you got into cars and everything.
So my name is Jared. Everyone knows me at the track as Juju. I'm born in New York, Manhattan, city boy, but I grew up a couple years in Florida.
Okay.
I've been in the racing game, I guess I should say, for like, I don't know, since I was born,
Yeah.
I've been doing this with my dad, and it's always either another project or getting ready for the next event.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm 21 years old. I've been here in Japan for 2.5 years already. I'm loving it. It's been a great adventure, great opportunity, and thank you, Donnie, for the opportunity as well.
No problem, man. And like you said, you mentioned your dad. I did see on some of the videos you guys had the the rotary,
yeah,
and stuff like that. And one thing is it's not like it's kind of like stereotype, but like every dude that I know that's Puerto Rican, man, or of the descent, man, like my guy Alex Rodriguez, who fortunately got the game, but you probably heard of Alex Rodriguez Motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the game for a while, Puerto Rican, Marine, and they just the rotaries, man. So what is it like about? I mean, I know your dad. Of course, you grew up around it. Mm-hmm. Like, did your dad ever tell you like why did he get into like rotaries and stuff?
So it's funny, right? So my dad is like the Paul Walker of the family.
Yeah.
And my uncle is like the Vin Diesel, and my grandfather, like they all grew up into American muscle cars. And my dad did have a Cutlass Oldsmobile, I think it was, but it was, I guess it was something about rotaries that he enjoyed, something about import cars, and he went with it, and I stuck down the same route. I mean, I enjoy it. I think they're awesome. And the rotary thing, I think it was just something that was like popping back in the 90s, back in like in New York. Like everyone would go race out in Hunts Point and stuff, and that was just something my dad always did.
Yeah,
I mean?
so he definitely did a little bit of street racing.
Yeah, he did.
Everybody, I mean, dude, like I came from it.
Yeah.
My first like 8 years. First 8 years was pretty much just street racing. We did some track things, but like everybody, but you would see dudes at the street races with numbers on their car because they went to the track like that day and then went out there that night. Only thing is they were like erased off there as their quarter mile time when they were racing for money and stuff like that, man. Right. So before we get too deep into it, man, where can people find you at on like Instagram and stuff like that?
So you can find me on Instagram, JZX_Juju. Mm-hmm. I post like honestly everything there as far as like updates on my cars. As of right now, I have a FDRX7 back in the States in Florida. Mm-hmm. I have a S14 missile. I have my JZX100 Mark II. It's currently like my daily / like drift car. I haven't really been sliding it much this year.
Yeah.
Mainly because I've been trying to like get myself like to a certain level where I can start competing and
right.
honestly, just get as much seat time as I can and not care if I hit a wall or like just break something. You know what I mean?
And then you got YouTube stuff like that.
Yeah, so I have YouTube. Juju Tech is my YouTube. I vlog a lot there.
Go ahead and subscribe, guys, like I just did right there. So,
so I vlog there a lot. Like I, go to car meets, car shows, like Cars and Coffee, any kind of like meets that they have out in Hachinohe. And yeah, basically anything that has to do with drifting, DIY, wrench time on a car, and just like drifting events and sometimes drag racing when I'm back in Florida.
Yeah. So that's like when you came to Massaua. Just got me because it's weird guys out there. I mean, I've known, of course, I've known of you. I think the first time I met you was at MSP, and the cool thing about it, it's like I kind of, even though like I say what he said offline, like some of the younger guys I don't really hang around a lot. I don't hang around. It's not young or old. I stay to myself. I got my core guys that I've known for a while and everything. And it's just I don't even hang around them. You know what I mean? So out of all the guys, I do remember the day I met you in particular because it was we're at MSP. I seen your car, and there was a couple other American guys there, and like if all like you came over, like, hey man, I would follow your thing, shook hands, and I was like, cool man, like normal guy, normal dude, and I mean, and I don't group all young dudes into like the same basket, but some of the dudes, man, they just antisocial. They don't know how to. They're like this alter ego on Facebook, TikTok, and all that stuff. And when you see them in person, they can't look at you. They can't hold a conversation. It's like, dude, why are you being weird, man?
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is everyone's human. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. So it's like,
that was actually my first drift event that day.
Oh yeah,
that was the first time I went drifting. I think you had the 180 out with the one.
Because because that was actually the first time with that car at the track. I was like, the clutch was slipping and all this other stuff. But yeah, man, it was like. It was cool, so I was like, all right, and I take a mental note, and so every time like I would run into you, like it would be cool, man. Like some of the dudes, it's like what I get with the shop stuff is the guys are cool, or it's like they one of their buddies I've told to fuck off, to be honest, and so so it's like in Massaua is dudes or either they see the work I do, and most guys. They do it themselves DIY. There's nothing wrong with it because I did the same thing. So I'm not saying, hey, everybody got to come to my shop and do all that stuff. So I understand it is what it is. But a lot of the dudes, I'll get back to that, let us let that play. But a lot of the guys just do that stuff. But anyway, it's not about me. You guys will go back and see all the podcasts out there. You can see all the ones back. This is episode number 155. So got a lot of them out there. So you can definitely go back, get into it. I would say about after 50, the quality picked up and stuff like that. But anyway, man, so like I said, you got so let's like when you got to Massaua, this is your first duty station? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
First base.
All right. So of course, guys, military. What do you do in the Air Force, man?
So I'm a heavy equipment operator, and I do pavements.
See?
Yeah, see. So I'm a dirt boy.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything when it comes to asphalt, concrete on the airfield, I fix it, I repair it.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with a piece of heavy machinery, which really could be a dozer, front end loader, it could be a tractor trailer. I drive all that kind of stuff.
All right, cool. We like to see you guys. That was vehicle ops, so we like C because C like the only career field where we would train the VCOs, and like we didn't have to certify it because they did their own. They were like the closest to ops because you guys got to drive so much,
right? And
you guys will certify your own guys. So everybody else, we got to come there. We got to use our tractor trailers because CE got their own tractor trailers, and I think it's only CE ops and the guys on the ammo guys.
Yeah,
they're the only guys on base that has their own tractor trailers. So we generally got along well with CE and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. So when you got here, when did you get here? And
I got here 11 July 2020 was when I got here.
Okay. So you got here, and so I mean, like who was the first like group of guys that you met when you got here, car wise and everything?
So first group of guys, man, you're taking me back now.
Yeah.
It was Hal, my friend Hal with his red S15.
Okay. Is he still here?
No, he PCS'd. He's in Dias now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was Hal, a friend of mine, John. He's separate. He's in Cali now. He's got an RX-7. And from there, I ended up meeting Bryant, meeting Josh Singletary, and everybody else from SBK, from our drift team.
Pinku style PSO1TS coilovers. These are the first coilovers available by Pinku style. These are for track and street. Coilovers are going to work for guys who are going to look to tackle the street. You're going to look to tackle the toll gate in a legal way. 32-way adjustable. You have dampening control. You have camber control. Optional for some cars. It's a very smooth process. If something happens, it will honor the 1-year warranty. Pinku style PSO1TS. Ready to order right now. See you guys later. Peace. Cool, man. Good stuff. Like, and it's weird, man. You have like I remember when I got here, 2008, August. There was you guys actually it kind of took it back to how it used to be, because like how we go to hobby shop now is not but sports cars.
Right.
When I got here, that's all it was. Like it was so when a random Joe who wakes up at 12 o'clock would get there. Like, hey man, I want to get a baby, do my oil change. Like, dude, we're here all day, dude. Like, go away. Like, this is our shop. Yeah. So like I know, like I really haven't been to the hobby shop to work on anything since like 2011. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no shit. It's like 2010. It was like the last time I went worked on anything, because I moved off base and I started my own garage and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it was that time when we first got here. It was nothing but and everybody was really high level. One guy's down in Okinawa, Jay. It was a different environment, man. So it was cool. We were essentially Saturday was just fixing the shit up for Sunday, and we would all go to the track on Sunday. And then everybody PCS and retired or left, and then it was like this. It was just regular. Mm-hmm. And around that time, I started competing, so I didn't really care. And then it just kind of, and I would say like when I do go on base, and I see like all the cars there, that's like really in the last 2 years that I really seen it like that. So it's like you guys kind of brought it back as far as the hobby shop environment and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And it is a lot of, like, I mean, there's a lot of dudes here that I never, for various reasons, I've been away doing my thing, growing my business, so I don't hang out there. So a lot of guys I don't know, they obviously they know of me naturally, right? But yeah, man. So it's pretty cool, man. See, so right here is I know it's Monster and S13, but
yeah. So I think that was like a 6 or 7 car like tandem. It was like the end of the day.
What event was this?
I think that was like a Yakitori. No, was it? I can't remember exactly, but
I could tell by the ground is cold outside. And
yeah. So that was,
you could tell it's all snow and ashy and shit.
Yeah, that was the beginning of this year. Yeah. I think that was like end of March. It had snowed the week prior. This was Hal's last drift day. He was like, "Let's go to the track," and I was like, "Dude, like it was like a week before we went, and it was like a foot of snow on the ground." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't think it's gonna happen." I had just finished the S14. Yeah. And I put like a big sticker on the door. Like I got some duct tape and I put like Hal's name and like an arrow. I was like, "Come hit my door." Like it was a good time for sure. Yeah. And then that's me with Masanori. I'm trying to chase him and he's just like running away. Like that was actually my first time doing the D1 line. Yeah. And, I had no handbrake.
Going back, because everybody always asks us stuff, man. So what was your feeling when you first linked it, man? Like you linked the whole thing and.
So it was actually pretty funny. Yeah. So
it was a dry or wet?
It was dry.
Okay.
It was dry. So Hal was like, "Bro, you got to hit it." He had hit it like a day or two prior. Yeah. He's like, "Bro, it's nuts. Like, you're going to love it." And the S14 right now, it doesn't have a handbrake. So I had to like learn to like basically drive and like do the line without using a handbrake. Right. And I hopped on the sim and I was like, playing around on the sim like a couple days before. My friend Mason's house, and then I went to the track and I was like, you know what? I just came down the straight and I was like, third gear, I hit it and I spun out and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna come back around, and I foot braked it a little bit more and I got it. And as soon as I got it, like I completed the rest of the track. I got off the pits because Hal was doing tires. Yeah. I got out, I was like screaming, like, oh my god, I did the D1. Yeah, like it was comical. I loved it. It was great for sure.
It's always when everybody. We all back in the day, we all like talked about it, man. But like, so I've been so far removed from it. I don't really talk to many of the guys. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, that first time. So my first time doing it was my first time completing it was and it was a rainy day because I would go there. Of course, how MSP is. You can go there 7 days a week. Yeah. So I would go there my first like 6-7 months here. Dude, I was going to MSP twice a week. Oh wow. Like I would get out. Like I would literally. I would get off. We would get off at like right at 4, and because we were in Iraq or here, so when we were here, we were real chill. Like we didn't give a fuck about nothing. And like 4 o'clock, like get out of here, dude. So my guy, he would let me like 3:45. He would like let me out, and I would go up there literally just to get 45 minutes of practice before the sun goes down. I mean, I'm on a tour road. Like I went. Before they had the little cat eyes, I went around those little green markers a couple times.
Yeah, people would tell me that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
People were just like, zoom.
I went around that shit a couple of times because there was a fucking K truck right there. I'm like, dude, I want to. The sun's going down.
Yeah.
And so I would do that. After about 6 months, I was like, all right, cool. I'll just wait until the weekend. And but I was just, my goal was just to, because I started drifting in America, but I learned how to drift in Japan.
Okay.
Like I learned how to like really, really drift in Japan, and I didn't have instructors. It's just following certain guys and looking at how they're doing it. And I did go to a couple schools with Team Orange and definitely learned a bunch, man, back in like 08, 09.
Nice.
And this, man, here it's like just being amongst the tracks, man. You skill up so much you don't even realize. Like you offline, you were mentioning that you went back to the States and the road kids. Just talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, so I went back to Florida I went back to Florida last year and this year. Yeah. And last year I went to go hang out with some friends. Yeah, it's that one. I went to go hang out with some friends, and basically you can't have a passenger in the car with you, and you can't drift with someone unless you have like a cage.
If you've been watching Pinku Style for a bunch on YouTube, you know I've been in Japan for about 16 years. One of the most challenging things when you come to a foreign country is getting control somehow on a local language. That way you can communicate effectively, make more money, do business, and all that stuff like that. When you go to a Japanese, speak to Japanese, you don't read the book. You speak to a person face to face. It's going to be Japan Language Factory, JLF. Run by Terumi Kai. I've been partnered with Terumi Kai for about now 2 months. If you want to go ahead and learn Japanese, definitely get over to JapanLanguageFactory.com. Check out the site, see what they got to offer. You'll get a free consultation when you sign up, and after that, you can kind of determine your program and things like that. If the programming course is 2 months, and what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to effectively communicate using the things that you like to do. For example, if you're into cars, they can talk about cars. If you're into bowling, they can talk about bowling and center your lessons around stuff that you're interested in versus trying to learn about, let's say, banking if you're not into banking. Right? So there's about 2,000 Japanese letters. There's over 500,000 Japanese words and phrases. And if you try to learn all of them at the same time, you're going to spin your wheels. And at the same time, you guys know out there kids, when kids grow up, they speak Japanese. They don't go to school. They just speak Japanese naturally from what they hear. So it is possible for us out there to learn different phrases, learn Japanese properly, and apply yourselves in a fashion that you're actually going to learn Japanese the way you want to learn Japanese. So again, that's going to be JLF. Check them out. You're going to enter code Pinku Style JLF. That's again Pinku Style JLF when you sign up, and that will help out the podcast, and that will actually get you learning Japanese quicker. So again, check out JapanLanguageFactor.com. Terumi Kai, and you guys will be learning Japanese in no time. Peace.
And that that blew me away because
you're like, what?
I was like, dude, I could carry.
I was like,
dude, 4 people
with no glass in the car, no seatbelts.
Yeah, and I'm just going sideways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this year I actually.
My bad. Is this your place or?
Yeah. So this is my dad's house. Got the FD in the garage and my dad's RX-3 over there in the corner.
Yeah.
Actually, that day I raced him. So my dad and I we had talked about it, like building cars together and like cruising to car shows and like racing each other potentially. And my dad used to drag race back when I was a kid, but he ended up selling his race car, and basically everything that was in the race car went into his street car.
Yeah.
So he basically still had like a little mini race car or whatever. And when I went home, I was like, poking the bear. I was like, hey man, wait, I want that next lane. You're not ready. I'm gonna tree you. So we went to the dyno like a couple days before, and I made 470 on the dyno with the FD. And it was pretty funny because I was making a little bit more power than my dad at the time because he was down on power, like he had to turn down. And I was like, let's go to the track. So we went to the track and I lit up the tires, and little do you know, I'm on street tires, he's on radials.
Right.
And he just launched on me and I was spinning tire and I was like, well, I lost. There was no coming back. He even let off at top end and I was just.
This is on Florida, right?
Yeah, in Florida, Orlando. it was just I couldn't catch up for nothing. So, and then
it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Me being a father, man, I got 5 kids, and I take my boys out tomorrow or ride dirt bikes and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I had my oldest is 6, so it's like I can't imagine. I can imagine, but it's like they got to grow up some more. So shit around about 11, 12, they can start. Driving a car because you got the carts and everything. And my thing is like, I didn't want to say like I didn't have stuff like that it wasn't like in the car. It just wasn't. I didn't grow up in a motorsports family, so it wasn't like there. I had a motorsports family and I couldn't get I came from none of that. I came from pretty much meeting guys and doing things. That's how I got into cars and everything. So, but this is all they know.
Right.
They've been born literally born. My son, my oldest is 6, and he's like the same age as the business. So like he was born a year of the business. So he's only grown up with this. That's so when he sees like their RX-7 or whatever car, they come to the shop and they go by here to go home. So they'll see the car and then they'll pick the car and come to the shop and like they'll have like the yellow RX-7 and it's a yellow RX-7 there. So this is pretty cool, man, to be able to do for them and stuff like that. And so this is it, guys at the track.
Yeah, so that's us like doing the burnout. So my dad has the tendency of doing like a really long John Force burnout.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I've never done that. I'm gonna try the same thing. Yeah. And then like right here, he just got the train. I got stuck spinning.
There's no That's a drag prep radio car.
Yep.
It's nah.
Yep. His car's got a built rear end.
It's like 4 lengths on you out the jump, man.
Yep. Oh yeah.
This is a quarter mile.
Quarter mile. So he ran. I think it was like a 12.6, and he was like shorts. Like I'm in my full race suit, and he's like shorts. Like short sleeve, and he didn't have a helmet because I took his. I didn't bring my helmet with me here from Japan. Yeah. And they're like, hey man, you're going a little too fast.
What's for the track? Are there like 10 and under? You got to have like the loop, the driveline loop and the cage and all that stuff, or is it?
So 1150 you need a 4-point.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you get into the 10s, I think you need a 6 or 8 with the bars going through the dash into the firewall.
And they kick you out if you run it's like you can't run anymore if you run. So what your dad's what's his run at full boost and everything?
So back in 2012 with that same motor and setup, he got it into the low 10s. It was capable of going into like the low 9s, but he had a hurt transmission. Okay. So we were just like, we were trying to run the event and like run the bracket class. And we kind of like dialed in for a slower time and just like, tried racing, like run the class to see if we can get a good time or not. Yeah.
RX3s, man. Like they're pretty cool, man. Yeah, man. That's good.
Certainly they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Those consumed with vengeance. But here, they do not exist. Only winners and losers here. For here, the mighty.
Yeah, man, that's that like that right there, man. That's like, again, being a dad in the scene, that's man. It's not that far away, man, as far as me, because my oldest is 6, so it's to be able to have hey man, let's go tandem practice. Like I ain't gotta I ain't gotta try to get like a friend because like they're gonna be down anyway because like they so it's just cool, man. For me, my idea is like not like trying to be a helicopter parent, but it's like, hey man, if they're working on cars, building cars, like I ain't gotta worry about them out there doing some dumb shit or like whatever. They can go explore because I'm at the age where we would like literally leave drive like we were like going like miles away from home on bikes in like the jankiest places, going into abandoned houses and doing all the shit that somebody could potentially die from. And you come home at dinner and like the mom was like, hey, what were you up to? Like we were just out, like we were doing like crazy shit. Like I know people, the thing is now, like it's kind of now everybody got a phone, so most people don't know what to and what not to record. So is this where is this Orlando?
Orlando Speed World.
Yeah, so it's the same where Brap and all those guys go down there.
Who?
The Brap, he's a dirt bike dude. He's down in he's from that's the same joint.
It's Orlando Speed World. So this is where they hold FD Orlando.
Yeah.
So that's like, I guess, like their skid pad where they like park their cars, I guess, and then they just drive over to the oval, which is like right behind where the camera's at.
Yeah, but definitely a check. Like, there's a dude name is Brap. He actually just got it. So it was, reason I know because they were taking his he just got an E36 LS1. Mm-hmm. So he just got into drifting because he met the dudes from King's Performance.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know those guys. Well, I met them a couple of times and everything. So. Mm-hmm. We were pitted together before, and they had him. They built him a car. So he's a dirt bike, one of the street Willie dudes. Willie's all around. Okay, so he's like a OG, young OG, right? And he about I think 2 million subs, or something like that. So he's up there. But so that's why definitely I recognize the wall and all that stuff, man. So
very different from MSP. I felt like I was in Kudu.
I can see the dips and the potholes and then I can tell just by looking at it, that's the jaggy rock cement.
Yep. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit rips your tires up, dude.
I went through one pair that day, and
it's like sandpaper.
After a lap, like the tires, like you know how like normally they would get like like the rubber would like ball up and absorb onto the tire. Yeah. Like that's not what it was even doing. It was just like ripping it off, like chunking off.
Yeah, you just look at the tires like scratches in it.
Yeah.
Like somebody was stabbing it with a knife. But yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, and your dad, like so your dad's pretty much been primarily drag.
Yeah. So I took him for a ride that day, and it was just funny. Like I'm driving, I'm like watching his like facial expression, and I'm just like. Like hell yeah! Like I was spinning out because like I'd grab the e-brake, but it's, like my muscle memory is telling me to grab it with my left hand.
Yeah, and then the FD e-brake is not. It's not
the best. So I like would grab the door like just out of muscle memory, and my dad's like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's just I'm learning the car, man. You know.
Yeah. So like, and the thing is too, like, so you learned how to drift right hand drive.
Yeah.
So it's like for me when I go to left hand drive, I literally like a half a lap, and I just kind of like go like this a couple times, and I'm back in it. So I started drifting left hand drive, but again, like my skill and high power and speed came right hand drive. So I can do. I think I'm one of the few that could do both. But now I'm actually sending my 33 over there to for FD because I'm gonna do FD in the States.
Oh, nice!
And
that's awesome.
And it's a marketing thing. We'll talk about that offline a little bit. But I'm going to send. I was gonna get a car over there. I'm like, dude, I've been drifting so much right hand drive. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to be a reason why I'm not doing well because I'm not practicing as much left hand drive. Even though I can still drift left hand drive, no problem. Yeah. But you just sit on the side of the car so long that now it's like I've literally been driving and drifting right hand drive longer than I have in the States. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, man. But yeah, man, that's dope. Nice. One thing I like about I'm never moving back to the States, but like I said, if I had to or something went like Korea invaded and some shit like that or whatever, it would be for me somewhere in Florida or California, man, because I'm done with I'm from Baltimore. Yeah. Been here in Masawa, I deal with it, but like the snow and the cold, I'm like, dude, I've paid my dues.
Yep, dude. I agree,
like,
100%.
Fuck that, dude. So is this your sister, mom? Or?
Yeah, it's my sister. Okay. So I took her for a ride. I was like still getting to learn. Like it's weird. Like you know when you first get to the track, you know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna hang out a little bit. You know, do my conservative lines like how I normally drive.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do that, but the FD has no angle. Like it's basically stock or like stock suspension. It just has a built motor.
Oh, so that your engine is built?
Yeah. Okay. So it's got like a mild street port on it. Nice.
I know. I'm
got studs and stuff.
There's no way your dad gonna let you roll around with a stock 13B, man.
Yeah. That's not gonna happen.
His mom?
Yeah, that's mom. Okay. So it was funny between mom and dad. Like their like dad's facial expression was funny because like seeing him go side, like me getting the car sideways, him just like holding onto like the old shit handle, like it was funny. You know what I mean? So they're hopefully coming up in November. And I'm gonna take him to Matsuri.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely gotta meet him, man.
Yeah. So I told my dad, I was like, hey man, I hope
you're
ready.
Let's have him. I got some. I need some. Got some side seals. I need clearance and everything. Probably do some.
Bro, he's gonna be like, yo, just a case of Coronas. Play the Spanish music. We good, man.
I got thirsty to be on the table. I need that thing. But man, think about that, man. This only like in the whole Japan. It's literally 6. Last time I checked on Yahoo, literally 6 13Bs in the whole Japan.
What?
Yeah, and 2 of them like are fully built. and WPC treated, but I got one that I need a E-shaft and rotors, and it's like you can't. In the States, you can literally, hey man, I need an E-shaft, and somebody I got an E-shaft. Here, you got to buy the whole damn thing just to get the parts you need. Like that's one thing you
I realized because when I first got here, I was like, yo, I want to stack up on engine plates, like I want to get housings, I want to get rotors.
The States is better.
Yeah, I found that out super fast.
Yeah.
Because like I used to hear stories like, oh, yo, I got this motor from Japan, it's JDM, this, that, and I'm just like,
there was a point of that, man, but that stopped a while ago, and then like the biggest thing, like you've been in Masala for a little bit. There's no, and I'm pretty sure guys down at Yokosuka, and it doesn't matter where. Japan is Japan. Right. And so the guys in Tokyo still have to order and wait for stuff. It's not like because you're there. Now, granted, their up garage is astronomically better than ours. They got engines and shit on the floor. Versus I try to sell them an engine with pictures and videos. Like, nah, we don't. I'm like some of the shit on that one is on the stand. Been there since 2008. Oh wow. No shit. Some of that stuff is because what you probably know now is like you can order and deliver. Yeah. So after I figured that out, I stopped. I didn't go there anymore. So it was like the first year I didn't have a girlfriend, and I would go down there like once twice a week to see if there's something there, because sometimes like they'll have stuff on the shelf that's not on the website yet, right? So you can buy it like before they list it. And but yeah, once I figured it out, man, let's say the last 5 years I've been there maybe twice, because and then their prices are
it's skyrocketing.
Yeah, skyrocketing. So it's like it once was a cool thing. So unless I need like a pair of skirts or like something like really, I'm not gonna overspend because this is all used shit. Right. So like I can put $200 more to it and buy a brand new clutch. Yep. You know what I mean? So but yeah, it's cool, man. So I see right here, you guys are at Matsuri Autumn. Yeah. So but yeah, man, it's pretty cool. One thing I always ask dudes, man, is like, do you know where school course is designed from?
So I heard, I don't know, like you've been here longer. I heard like school course at Ebisu.
My bad. MSP. What is MSP? Well, you're I gotta say.
Yeah, it's they're basically like the same track.
No, it's
the
the same school because Kawashi and Wichcon grew up. They grew up together riding dirt bikes. So their relationship goes like way back. Right. Kawashi and Kumakubo. Yeah. So like he pretty much borrowed MSP is school course like blown up. It's school course and school course in Minami like kind of smashed. So the whole if you notice like if you go over you look at Minami, look at a video of Minami, they come down, they hook around, they go inside, you come around. It's the same thing. The same. So Minami South. That's the south part of MSP South course, and then the whole design. So if you go to not the new school course sucks.
Yeah, I hate it. I didn't like it.
They really messed it up, man. The flow, because I try to drift it like the old school course, and you can't even like it doesn't flow the same way when you come up the hill. It sucked the jaggeds, but you had like a little. You come around, you have a Yumanji, you can tap both walls, but now it's just like.
Yeah, now it's like
and it's too slippery, man.
Yeah, it's too slippery, and not only that, but they made it so wide so that you don't even get close to the wall. Like I remember my first Matsuri was last year in the summer. Yeah, and I drove the Mark II for summer Matsuri, and we went to school course, and I'm just there, like I loved it because I felt like I was at MSP. You know what I mean? And Jared Beachy had told me about that. He's like, bro, this is like a mini MSP, like kill it, like. And
I always bring it up to the dudes, and they don't like, hey man, like just talk around, like this design. They don't think about like, no shit, yeah man. I never thought about it, because if you look at school course, it's like you look at MSP, like you got the wall, you come around, you go down and you come around. So like that going down part. That simulates when like you're coming like from the top of MSP and you hit the wall, you go out, you pretty much go out, and you go around the backstop. Right. So that's right there. That only thing about the old school course is that shit did fuck up a lot of I broke arms and wheels because it was I crashed actually my 33. The one on Wishcom, like I got mad at the design and like this that was a dumb. I just like clutch kick into the wall and just like dragged it on the wall. Oh, and boy. But yeah, it was weird, man. Then I started drifting in like old, and the dudes were like at the wall, like they were like clapping. I'm like, dude, this is normal school course.
Yeah.
Because then everybody else the wall was here, and they were like here,
like by the the rumble strip.
So I'm like, man, fuck this. I ran it like the old one. So like, I almost scraped the one wall here.
Yeah.
And then it came across like deep, and they were like, I'm like, dude, that's how you're supposed to drive it. Because normally where you guys are at, that's a fucking island right there.
Yeah.
Like where you're drifting is normally your whole car would be just going over an island, scraping all this shit up.
Yep.
So yeah, man, they definitely changed it. And then the whole Minami thing, I don't know what the hell his reasoning was behind just making it a dirt track, because it was before. And then now the bank they got there, I thought it was gonna be like more of a bank.
Yeah, I was thinking like it was gonna be like an Irwindale.
Yeah, so it's like bank, it's a section. It's kind of like, so I don't see that being. I thought it was gonna be like a hook, like a kind of essentially like you got to go a C shape at least.
Yeah,
and come out. So it's cool, but I thought it was gonna be a little bit more than what it is. And I know videos. It looked like it goes up high, so it probably is about 15, 20 feet in the air. But it just seemed like it's kind of like this is mixed into the run, which that section nobody even drifts back there.
Yeah, which it didn't make sense for me, because I think D1GP is gonna be using it. Yeah. Because they had changed the Matsuri dates. But it's like for Matsuri, nobody drives that.
Yeah, that's where you cool down.
Yeah, we either do Nishi long or Nishi short. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I don't know. It would have been cool if they would have did it like down on the bottom part where you come down the hill where everybody always flips over right there.
Yeah.
And like kind of like make that part like kind of go like up, and then they wouldn't do that because then they can't delete the downhill part's like iconic.
Yeah.
But if they could have made it somewhere where you kind of come down to Nishi short, and then like where all that stuff is, build it up there, and then kind of loop back into it'll be like, all right, it's somewhat of a embankment and everything. So it's kind of, but I could message him and ask him like, what's the thing? But he's a business owner, and like they got their reasons for doing it.
Of course, yeah.
And all that stuff, man. So, but yeah, so other than MSP, Bisu, what other tracks have you been to so far?
So I've been to Sugo, but I have not. I haven't driven it. Okay. I went as basically like pit crew for Sam and Fausto. And then I'll be going down to Okayama in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
To go help them out as well for FD and FDJ2.
Yeah.
But other than MSP and Ibisu, I haven't driven any other tracks.
Definitely.
I definitely want to try out Nico and Tsukudama circuit.
Yeah, definitely Nico. I would highly recommend Mobara. Like Mobara's flow. Yeah. Is Mobara is like it's as far as track. Soul Track is like my favorite track. Then like my favorite course and layout is Nishi Short, like the downhill side. There's nothing like it, where you go over that apex, you're going over a blind apex, and you don't know what's on the other side of there. Yep. So it's like that's some close calls there, man.
Yeah, so that threw me off last fall Matsuri last year, 2021. It was funny because I'm driving. I had just bought the S14. And I was like, all right, I started learning how to drive. Like I never really like manji'd. Like I was learning all that. I've never been in third gear. And I had to do it for, keep up with everybody in the trains. I had other cars behind me, and I just hopped in, and a friend of mine, Walter, he was like, dude, if you don't see them on the that booth that they have up there, like with the flag, like where they wave the caution flag, if they're not waving that flag, just send it. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. I don't have to drive this car home. It's going to get towed back up to MSP. Like, screw it. And I did it. I just sent it over the hill, flying. And it was actually funny because I actually crashed with Sam, like, the last minute of Matsuri. We kind of, like, rubbed front ends, like, of our cars and stuff. I blew, like, I think it was, like, a intercooler piping hose. Like, and that was really it. But it was, like, a lot of fun. Like Nishi Short is probably like my favorite, and honestly, like North Course is my other favorite track. Yeah,
North Course, like the guys who like I've done all of them, but like North Course, like it's like the guys, it becomes like the dudes who go North Course stay in North Course the whole fucking Matsuri, man. Yep. So this was back in 2010, 11, and dude, it was like This was in Australia, guys. It was like pretty. There was a lot of top guys from Australia coming over. Right. Old school course for the guys who don't know what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So like the line they're running right. This is Suinaga and Kumakubo. Okay. So like that's where. So the guys who were watching, that's where dudes are drifting. They were doing like a something different, doing that thing. But right there, that's where everybody now was drifting at. But most guys would come out, as you can see in the back, they would come out to the wall. And like you see this stuff guys are watching, you see stuff sticking in the wall.
Yep.
So even back then there was guys who wouldn't get out there, but yeah. So that's that right there is they were trying to get them to knock out pipes and stuff off the wall. And school course, it says school course, but school course wrecks the most cars, man. So
yeah, so it was crazy in my first.
I sold this car to DC a while ago.
What was that?
This was a 180 I sold to DC. I did about 2 mile series in this one.
Oh, okay.
I sold it to DC. But yeah, dude. Once you get that whole drift the whole back and you go up and flick over the top, like it's you can't describe it, dude. And that train just been, I like it. I like Nishi the most because that's the only place where you ain't gotta fucking ask nobody for door to door. It's like it's a known thing.
Yep.
Like you don't go there unless you want to be door to door, dude.
Yeah.
So like you just don't. Nobody's going there. So that's my Matsuri. That's all I really look forward to is honestly the what a little grill thing is cool, a little beef. Yeah. It's always cool. And then going down there to the but it just fucking gets packed down there though, man.
Yeah.
Like, so that stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for this fall Matsuri. I should be driving the S14.
When is it? When is November
26 and 27, I believe. I
might have the G35 ready because I'm not the 33. I'm not gonna put it in any more danger because like I said, that's shipping out to the States.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. I've already like fixed it because it was crashed. It was the one at the Lemon Lot.
Oh,
so that was the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was the one that was crashed. So I would just want to. I don't want to put it in danger. I'll use it for the States. So send it over. So I got a G35. I got the RX-8. It is gutless, and S14 actually just sold yesterday. So that's nice. Sold to somebody. But the I'll as of right now. It's looking like I'll be able to get out there, and at least for probably one day. I probably won't. But that's what sucks is like you can't. I don't think they let you pay for one day. They make you pay for
Matsuri.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's only Sunday that you could pay for one day, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's the case. I'm gonna probably come to Sunday.
It's like I think it's just 10,000 yen for the day.
Yeah, I've done. Dude, I've literally fuck man. As far as sleeping at the sleeping in the Bisu, and then sleeping at the little thing across the street.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. Between like sleeping in a car that's broken, wait for parts next morning, and all types of shit, man. But yeah, this is an old school course right there, man. Where we used to run that shit. And this was I had a really cool. I was shooting footage from my dude Joey Roku.
Nice.
And he had a really nice shot of me being. It was.
Ooh, that was a close one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I remember running like before they did the renovations, like they used to be like once you got to the back, like they used to be like a big pothole. All right, so I'm gonna round back because I'm gonna show the guys who I was. So we were just talking about. So the guys was watching. We were just talking about the bank. So see, like you can't really see the mouse, but like on the right side of the video, you see the dirt patch. It would be cool if they banked that whole section. You come down there and bank up here. And then kind of lip around. I mean, it would still be kind of half. But actually, now looking at it wouldn't because you literally come up the bank into the woods. Yeah.
So yeah, that wouldn't work. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Yeah. So scrap that idea. But the bank is up there. Like I say, it's back there. I never drift back there. We always cool down. So I really don't get the. I'm gonna hit it, drift it. So I'm looking at going down there.
Yeah.
Just do a video and everything.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out for sure when I take the car up to Matsuri.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it was again. It used to be like buildings right there. It's like a lot. You got like used to be like shacks, right there, and they fell on the hill during the first earthquake in 2011. So like the Bisu you see now is totally like not the Bisu. Between when I got here in 08 and 11, like it really changed. Like it really literally physically changed. That's why they did all that because it got all broken up and stuff down there, man. But yeah, man, like I say, for that stuff, it's I mean, now that now that you're like part of the Pinku style team and stuff like that, man, you'll definitely have some opportunities. I'll hit you up and testing. That way you'll be able to see the because your car was for your 180. What's the status of that, and also what's your direction as far as your build?
So the 180, I'm gonna go with like a comp style setup, basically with that car. Like basically something that I can get seat time in, and something that I can like still compete in at the same time. Because like, I mean, you've seen the S14, like that car. I got that car from Brady, but before it was Brady's car, it used to be Dale's car.
Oh yeah.
And that car lived on the wall. Yeah. You know what I mean, like, not that there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like a car represents you. So if the car looks shitty, like people are gonna like think different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think,
110%.
So I feel like a car is like if the car has to represent you. So like I don't want to like go into a competition and they're like, oh, this car's like pretty shitty. This guy's guy like probably looks shady or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like appearances are always the first thing that people look at. Yeah. So
it's definitely.
I feel like the car should look
especially
good as well.
But it has changed in Japan a little bit since when I first got here. It was all that, and then like the you see all the cars are there. It was literally like in that whole lot. That whole lot actually, you see all the cars are parked there now.
Yeah.
Pretty much, where I guess where there was like literally like 6 or 7 cars, maybe like 15 cars on a gate, but the whole paddock was like the whole thing. Now where all those cars are parked, we used to like drift right there.
Oh, snap.
Right by like the right before the restrooms.
Yeah.
Like we used to start from there and then get a run up and do the whole all that stuff. Where Josh Container and all that stuff is now.
Yeah.
There was nothing. And they used to have these little shacks, the things that are against the bathrooms right here. And there's the little shacks. Those used to be out in the front.
Oh wow!
So if you see the old videos, I do tailgates. You been on tailgate course?
So I've been on passenger. Yeah. And it scared the shit out of me.
Tailgate is fun, dude.
I do want to drive it though.
This is a stock SR20, man. Like you link the whole thing, man.
That's freaking great.
It's pretty cool. Then the cool tailgate at nighttime backwards is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a whole different. So once you learn how to run it in the regular way,
right?
You can pretty much link the whole thing, so it's fun. But if you go backwards, it's different lines, and you can also jump parts of the circuit too. So
nice.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I think for Matsuris, they don't allow people up on tollgate anymore. Like for nights. Really? Yeah. They'll close as soon as.
Oh, because they don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, dude, back to 09, it was so loose that dudes were driving their shits into town. Eventually, I didn't do that. I had tags on mine, but dudes are driving their missiles into town because there's nothing fucking open there. There's nothing. Right. Yeah. So yeah, they really that really got Andy and those guys in hot water because they always were like, hey man, you got customers in town, and then they really cracked down on it. So much so that they really didn't like guys going from out the circuit to right across the street.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Because technically that parking, well, once you go on the street, that's technically, just going across the street. So if somebody T-bones, that's an accident on the street. Yeah,
that's true.
So they was like, you got to bring your shit or fill up at Nishi. And that takes fucking forever, and it's more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I gassed up. So Saturday I drove, and then Saturday night I was trying to drive North Course at night, and the car, like, I'm coming down the straight, and I went to initiate on that sweeper, and the car just like cut up, and I went like right off track. And I was like, what the hell? So I spoke with Blind, like, yo, like, car's like starting to cut out as soon as I get sideways. He's like, well, what's your gas gauge at? I was like, well, it's like under half. Like, I have gas.
You can't even trust that shit.
Yeah, man. In a JZX, like I could run the car down to like E, and it won't fuel cut on me. And he was like, bro, anything like once that like fuel starts sloshing, like, you need to keep it full.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely gotta do that, man. Keep it full, especially like depending on if you're drifting, like S13, you're drifting, it's going to the right, the pickup's right there, so it's the fuel. It's right there in the cup, but if you go to the left, now all your fuel
is going out that way.
So that's one. Like for the JZX, the design of the fuel tank, it actually it's pretty much fuel always. Yeah. And plus it being that it's in the back seat in the middle, it doesn't. It's not in the rear. It doesn't get it. It's kind of physics. It doesn't. The fulcrum point is like fluid going in the back versus being up here behind the back seat. Right. So the JZX, like I definitely I've owned about I got currently 2, and I've owned about 4 collectively. Okay. And they're just stock cars, man. They drift good, man. Yeah, they drift real good, man. Yeah. But But yeah, man, it's definitely, man. Like now that you guys are gonna be down there, and I'll probably try to get out there.
It was definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to get like Blind to come out.
Yeah.
I think Brady's.
That guy. He's just buying cars. Like,
yeah, dude.
Like,
he just got that crash chaser.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we all make like the joke. Like, I'm not where I'm at now in drifting is all like, I owe that all to Blind because like Blind's like helped me out like way so much. Like, like we made like a bunch of stickers like sponsored by Blind Racing. Like we did it like as a joke kind of deal, but like Blind like genuinely like he helped me out like last year like just learning, and he was like, yo, here, try this. Like I found out my car had an open diff, and like he gave me a whole rear end setup, and he was like, yo, try this out. But we ended up doing other things, and Blind was always there, helping me with parts and stuff. So I really do appreciate him for that. And yeah, like
in the background, but man, man, you definitely got to do all that stuff, man. Like, it's definitely good to have like, a solid guy. Like I said, we every encounter I've had like with Blind was cool. The thing, some things about it, like with that is like, everybody's not cool. Everybody, unfortunately, like some people just don't gel. And he had a couple guys around him at a point where I didn't like at all, and they knew I didn't like him. I was vocal about it.
Yeah.
So it was just like different. So like this wears all none of those stickers in the car, so I ripped them all off. And just minimalist, man. My company's big, and everybody else is like, I got a few partners, but and speaking on that, man, while it's rolling in the background, because you'll be able to see the Mubara thing, like the whole thing with the sponsor stuff, man. Like we were talking about offline, and for the guys listening and watching, so like this, so I mean, you had the sponsored by Blind, the stickers and stuff like that. But I mean, that was just like a kind of a funny deal. So if I'm correct, like I'm the first company that sponsored you so far. So and that stuff is different, and that's all. It like we were saying offline, man. That's all it is. It's just an agreement, like hey, I'll give you X amount of this, and this. One thing I didn't do, and it's not wrong if you get into it, percentages and things like that. But you gotta, when you're going towards other companies, you don't ask them. And that's one thing my one guy did tell me, Jason AFG. He was like, I actually met him at Nishi.
Okay.
And he was like, he'd seen me drifting. And we talked a little bit, and it was like on the spot. I got a sponsorship on the spot from Jason right there.
Nice.
Then the same thing from Zinky. I met Zinky at Nishi, and he'd seen me driving. We talked a little bit, and it was like suspension, this, and this. And then I got a spot like right there on the spot. So I got two sponsors in the same like vicinity, but their goals and how they were running drivers, they were like they weren't looking for drivers, because Jason was a bike guy. He just want to sell the Icon helmets.
Right. And
so you're like, all right, well, this guy, he drives decently, he does all that stuff and everything. And that kind of how it happened, but it was informal. So it just didn't go, and it just kind of fizzled out. And then I was like, all right, well, they ain't talking to me. I ain't talking to them. I bought this stuff. I didn't get it for free.
Right.
And I got like a 10-15% off. But yeah, man. So like when you go, one thing Jason had told me, man, he was like, when you go towards companies, you don't ask for anything. Like, you tell them why they need you.
Right.
So doing that approach, and for the future, if you see some stuff that you want to run in your car and use for your program, it's cool. And what one thing I will tell you is, because I had a guy that I kind of had to tell that's not how it works, was one sponsor is like one part of your car.
Correct.
It's not though, and that's what I was saying on the email too. And I wanted to say it in the person who do it here, and everybody else can like kind of learn too. Like, you don't put the burden on another sponsor, like because he's sponsoring you for XYZ, and you need like this. Like, you gotta either get there from somebody else, make it happen, but you don't. And I had one driver who kind of like, I was offering a certain thing, and then he felt like, I'm like, dude, I don't sponsor get you to the event and do all that. That's not, you know what I mean? I'm like, if it's in route, I'm going to the same event, XYZ, we can make it happen. So, that's just one thing that is like a little advice I give you, man. Definitely treat all of them as separate.
Right.
And also, man, like, don't be doing most, like I said already, man. Don't be doing the most for dudes who only want to give you 10% off, 15% off, man, because you do what they offer. So if they offer you something like straight up 100%, of course you want to tag them more and do all the different stuff.
Right.
But you don't want to you don't want to be doing the most for, it should be a, and one thing, offline we'll talk, like the suspension benefit support that's there, but it'll be some other stuff that'll just be kind of between us. Right. And that's kind of how it works. And that's how it works, man. Like if Falcon is doing something and they know one of their drivers, JTP, is doing, he's cool. Hey man, come test this out or whatever. It has nothing to do with the contract, but because he's such a stand-up dude with the sponsor thing, and they're cool on that aspect. There's certain things that don't get recorded, and you don't really talk about and stuff like that, and you'll start seeing it and everything. I've been in the game for a little bit now, and it's it's all about it's money, dude. Yeah, it's all about you saving money, helping market things, and being a good ambassador. And like say everybody out there is not. I'm not interested in sponsoring everybody because I'll literally get hit me up like, hey man, I want to be a sponsor just to get a discount. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it doesn't work that way, man. So, but yeah, man, it's kind of my spill on it and everything, man. And so regarding like I know you mentioned the car, the build and stuff like that. Like what's your overall, while you're here in Japan, what's your overall goal that you would like to achieve?
So I told myself last season I wanted to compete more, which would have been this year. But this year I kind of like had to take I needed a reality check, and it was basically like I can't go every single event because I'm on an airman salary. You know what I mean? Yeah. Airman salary won't cover. Right. Well, you got
the yen rate right now, kind of popping for
exactly.
you a little bit.
So it's helping. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. Well, actually, a lot because it was like 75 today.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. And I didn't even like get the first 3 years here. I just pulled money out. And it wasn't until like I got out there I was like, oh shit, it's 65. It was like 68.
Oh wow.
At one point, and like it was rough, dude. But yeah, what you said, airman.
But yeah, like airman salary, military, you don't get paid that much.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to like come to reality and like kind of like tell myself like, hey, take a little break, get your seat time in, and next year I think that's the plan of attack. Honestly, is, like next month, 30 October, I'm gonna try and compete for that D1 provisional license. And
what car are you gonna use for that?
I'm probably gonna use the S14. Not 100% sure. Yeah, I was planning on taking the Mark II. Yeah. But I still got mixed emotions on what I want to do. But most definitely, if it boils down to it, I'm gonna honestly just end up taking the S14 because that's the car I'm most comfortable with right now, and I think in a competitive environment, I think I can pull something.
That's S14. Almost turbo, right? Your S14.
Yeah. So it's turbo DET, and it's got like a boost up. Like I think it's peaking at like 1.2 bar, something like that.
I would use this. You've done a lot of laps in S14. Just make it. You gotta get some fenders and slap them on there just to make. Because when you do the comps, man, they won't tell you can't drive a certain car. Right. But like if you come out there with a street, like missile. Yeah. They're not even going to take you serious. Right. So you want to, it could be mismatched, whatever, as long as it looks presentable. Like that, actually, the one I'm selling, that thing, man, I got pictures of it. Like that thing was like the whole back was pushed over. Oh, wow. The glass was busted. Like it was, I literally just put over fenders on it, like put some side skirts on it, changed the back glass. And it looked like a whole kind of new car. It still, it looks worse. That was a Quanto car. Okay. So and then went through a few guys that wanted to learn to drift. So it was the way your car looked now it looked worse than that. Yeah. It was same corner because they're all. So it was like smashed over, man. Yeah. So I fixed that and everything. But no, man, I would honestly run that because it's. One thing you don't want to do is because the Mark II, it's your daily driver, good looking car. You don't want to be worrying about not crashing it because if you're doing that, you're only gonna drive it 80%. Right. Yeah. So you want to take something out there that if you hit the wall, whatever, it's not. So I would personally, run the S14. Just make sure it's mechanically sound because that's the biggest thing now with competition. I lost track of how many, smaller end comps I've done. But the biggest thing when I was airman, man, it was like I only had one car, and I was driving in all week, and the alignment would be straight, and then I would fucking hit a pothole. Now my alignment is off Tuesday for the event. I don't have money to pay at the time I was going to Shingo.
Right.
I don't have money to pay for another alignment, so I'm going there already with the alignment off. Even though like we feel like the wheels all over the place, but it really does. It really does matter. It makes a difference, man. So like your alignment, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I got into like the whole alignment aspect this year because a friend of mine, Mason, he does alignments out of his house. And he's got like he's a big circuit guy, so he's like really like he goes into depth into suspension. So I did the like whole GK Tech arms in the rear and in the front, and he aligned the car for me. And before, like my tire wear would be like all the inside, and now it's like it looks like a slick,
like
a dry slick. Like once I'm done with that tire, it's completely flat. Everything's like all the tires wore down evenly.
Yeah, that's good.
And that honestly like helped out a lot because the car feels more stable, it feels more planted, and I'm using a 225, 235 tire, and I have like a bunch of grip still. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was honestly like a big thing for me was alignment.
Yeah.
Like if my alignment was off, like I felt like I did horrible.
Yeah, it's that because even when you're sideways, and even though you're spinning a wheel or a place, there is a natural center point you get to learn. Biggest thing now with a lot of guys with the aftermarket wheels, the wheel is not lined up with the steering rack,
right.
So it's off. So then the cool thing about it is all you gotta do is take it off and turn it and do that, but it's still not true. So the biggest thing is like first you get the alignment, make sure the rack is centered. Then after that, you go from there, you center the wheel, make sure those are centered, and then you got the dots there. Then you get to different companies where you got to have like a 45-degree offset ring to make the wheel back normal because they're machined a different way. You got the you got 2-3 we call it, or you got a 1-2-1-2-1, which is the Momo style. So a lot of guys, it's little stuff like that, man, that people skip over. That when you start competing, man, you want to have the most advantages. Like your e-brake, you want to make sure that works, and you don't want to go into the event with disadvantages. For me, now I don't even dude. If I'm not, I used to just show up. Even if I pay for the event, if I don't get enough practice, or I don't go because it's like I'm not driving from here all the way down to Nico, and I know I got a problem before I even load up the car and think I'll sort it out. It never works that way, man. So like that's competition advice. Yeah. Like you want to make sure the car is solid. Like one thing with my Sonori being at the track, you notice they do like the little shakedown before they load it up. Like they're not gonna load that car up and head down to Okayama with knowing that I got something off.
Right.
They just don't go. Yeah. Because that's a lot of fuel, money, hotels, gas. Yep. And then not do well, and then you didn't do well because the car and that's always a double-edged sword, because if you start saying the car sometimes the car literally like the power steering shit legitimately does fuck you up, but 100% most of the time, 90% of the time is the driver. So now if the car is all solid, then you messed up. So you want to know that you screwed up and not the car bringing you down, man. So yeah, man, that's one thing. I mean, I had Corona, I had COVID. And I didn't even get a chance. I could have got it, but I was like, nah, man, I don't want to get the car together and then I didn't even test the power steering system and then go down there. Because that pump I got is a used one, so I mean that could be on its way out. And the way I'm running at 100% all the time, man. So yeah, definitely with that stuff, man. And we'll definitely talk more, man. I don't want to hold because I got another guy coming in at 4. But no, man, I just want to get you on for a little bit of time. We did about hour. I mean, it felt like an hour, a little bit longer than that, but yeah, man, we'll definitely do this again, man. See how the car is going, get you back on there periodically, see how things are going. And then you got your YouTube, so we'll definitely. And one thing I was saying, I don't mind. It'll be like some certain things of Errol Dillon's, or I'll be like, that's cool to record or hold off on that or post it, because there's a strategic thing, you know what I mean, about posting and things like that, and you'll learn that getting around the different teams and everything, and you just don't, what I mean, if a guy's building a certain kind of car or whatever, they just don't want stuff out there yet, you know what I mean. You probably already been in those situations a little bit with certain things already, man. But pretty cool, man. Again, man, just happy to have you on. Happy to have you on the team. You're the first person to turn in their, the signed contract and everything, man. So for me, it's cool because, I mean, I'm not everything on that I offer on there. It's nothing like, oh fuck, I gotta get this, because that's one thing where sponsors mess up. They say what they're gonna offer, and then they like, oh, I don't really want to do this. Like nothing on there is like, it's easy. I mean, like you got a warranty, support, parts, you got your custom spring rates, stuff like that where I can offer, where it's pretty much you, me, and the manufacturer. There's nobody else. Right. So it's me to the manufacturer directly. I don't have to talk to 4 different people, and it's like, hey man, we got this, and this. I'll have spare parts on stock. So if in an event you break something, I'll have like the stuff like on tap here, to just get you like another stuff like that. So that's stuff like, I already have for my car another whole set boxed up. Okay. Like, for my, because they're already like adjusted to the height and everything, damper and everything. So when I break it, you pull it off, put it on, and you go. Right. So you definitely at some point want to have like, your mains and then another, and that's the difference between, winning and losing, man. And at the same time, man, it's with the whole stuff. It's not, with me, I didn't, of course, you've seen in my contract, I didn't put like, you must get me like type 5 results. That's not, the suspension is going to be on the car to get you to that point. You do well, and that's something that you can plug. And the suspension also is not part of like the, it works as balance and everything, and all, and that's, one of the things in the like I said, in the contract. Support means like, I'm definitely going to make sure that it's balanced for you. Like, right. I mean, and it's, because it's my suspension. They're all the same. But I've got some tricks inside that'll stay secret because it's mine, and it performs well, man. So we'll definitely make sure everything is good to go on that aspect, man. So, but yeah, man. Again, man, definitely look forward to doing some stuff on your channel, stuff on my channel. For sure. Take out some stuff, man. But again, man, thanks for being on our team, man. And say the guys are there again, man, looking to do stuff again. Say 21, 22, 21. Yeah, I'm 21. So yeah, man, like I say, man, at 21, I mean, I didn't get my first sponsor until I was like 30 something. But that was I was one of those guys who dislike comps because I couldn't afford to do it. Right. Then when I got money to do it, then I was like, all right, it's cool. I could do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of, for me, it's a tool to promote business now. The goals I had back then when I was an airman and all that stuff changed because now I'm married. I got 5 kids. It changes like your perspective and what's important and stuff like that. I've sold tons of cars to keep the business going. So my and also, with the like, just do what you do normally, man. Don't get all in your head, because I did shitty all those rounds because I was thinking about, I'm sitting in the line thinking about just like, dude, I've done it 1,000 times, literally. Like, just do what you do, and this time is a lot more people there and it's being judged. Yeah,
that kind of happened to me with my first comp last season in the Mark II. Yeah. I placed 3rd place on the podium, but like, I think it was like 2 practice laps and then 1 qualify run and the second qualify run. And like my practice, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I got it. And then like I'm like 5th or 6th in line waiting for my first qualifying run, and I'm just like, my hands are like sweating, like I got like, I'm shaky, like my foot's being weird with like disengaging the clutch and stuff, and I'm like just like relax. Like the first run I botched it was horrible, and then the second run I came and I was able to fill the zones, and like I got pretty lucky with that score, and I placed top 3. But yeah, I can understand, like I haven't been that much into a competitive like scenario where like I'm going against somebody, but eventually I'm gonna be, that's the plan for next year as well.
Yeah, and even with that, man, it's like it's a like I mentioned like before, like sports and things like that. I play a lot of sports. Didn't give a fuck who was on the other side. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna hit this guy. I'm gonna do football, lacrosse, wrestling. It doesn't. So like you do, like you mentioned, you point out the medals. Like when I go there, like, dude, I warm up, do my thing, and it's chill. And you got guys over there just looking around and who I'm going to match. I'm like, dude, don't care who it is. I'm going to do what I do, and because I'm not nervous, like that, just there's always the nervousness is an element if you don't want to fail, human nature. So guys act like, MMA, I train MMA, and it's not that they're scared. It's like you want to do well, and also you don't want to get fucking knocked out in front of 1,000 people, and then 1 million people watching online. So it's like that whole aspect of it. So people are afraid or nervous because they want to do well. So like you don't want to be like, if you just straight up don't care, then like you don't want to not care. So I think I just said that, but you just want to be like, hey man, I'm prepared. I know I'm good, and I'm just going to do what I know how to do at this moment, and you learn from it. Thing about competition is you can't practice for it. You just got to compete.
Right.
So like it took me a little bit to learn that, and then after I took that into my first round of Nico, and actually I was at the line. Daigo's in front of me, Nakamura's in front of me, and I was like literally one mistake away from like running in the top 4 against Nakamura, and
wow.
you know what I mean. And I shift from second to fourth, and you had to straighten up. That was it. I did a good. It was a good lead run, and my follow I just fell back, lost to another Saito, another he's a buddy of mine. But yeah, man, it was like I was like, damn, B. So I literally didn't play. Never placed in D1 because I was just so much like thinking about it, and then then also the car not being prepped, and then like I said before, knowing the car was fucked up, and I still drove to Ibisu, not a chance.
Yeah.
So it was like I set myself up for failure, man. And so it's just like with that, man, you gotta know like that's part of the being professional, and part of the pro stuff and all that stuff, man. They got everybody else doing all of the other stuff, so they don't really do much. So I don't really care to have a ton of people around me. So I'll be that one guy to have like one crew and one this and one that. But yeah, man, it's different ways, but it's just how you want to play it, how you want to do it, and things like that. And you'll find, and that's just like advice, but not, I never talk to somebody like gospel, like, yeah, you got like, cause you're going to do how you want to do it. I'm going to do my way. I got my theories, and one of my theories, I'm going to put it to the test, and it's going to work. Is I'm actually, I've always done it because, doing more or less. Because right now, guys are doing too much.
Right.
They're doing the car that can't stay together. They got too much shit going on. They got too much Haltech and Link in there, and bells and whistles. I'm like, bro, it's simple. Fucking wheel spin, the car goes forward, and you navigate the car, man. Like you don't need all this shit. So if you need all that stuff, like you're not really a good driver.
Right.
It's just straight up and down, man. A guy who can't do it without wise fab, he's not a good driver.
Right.
Straight up and down. I'll tell him to his face. I've told many people, if you can't drift a stock S13, stock angle, stock power, like your skills fundamentally are not good. And that's not it's my opinion and the opinion of a lot of other people who are very accomplished. So like for that point, man, I've actually detuned my car to like 5 something. It does 6, but I don't need 6.
Right.
And because I'm not, now if you're doing FDJ1 or whatever, now you need that just to stay up there. So that's a different thing. So I'm building a whole new car, set up for that. But in a D1 street legal, D1 divisional street legal MSC, you can win all that with 450, 480 straight up.
Okay. Straight
up. You don't need more than 480. You just gotta drive hard. But you can win it, and so my thing is I'm just gonna run through. I got pro license, but it's like I've been away for so long, and it's like practice during the event, practice competition. But long as it's the battle of attrition, so long as your car makes it to the end, like literally your car survives, you get a bye run, you're in the finals, you win. Right. It's that easy. Just you gotta survive, and some people got new drivers and they got 800, 600 breaking axles, breaking divs, breaking this. You don't need that, man. So that's my thing. I just to make it fun for me too, because honestly, it gets boring after you do it for so long, and also because honestly, I don't roll, and nothing wrong with having a crew, but I just don't. I got my own little things. Like I mentioned Iraq, I just don't like being with a lot of people. Right. It's just my thing, my life. Now we're at the track, we link up. That's cool, but I'll just show up. I don't need a bunch of dudes to do different things, and that's just me. Again, I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do or whatever. That's just because I was at one point. We did roll 6, 7 together, but that just kind of changed a little bit. But yeah, man, that would, I found it like I'm giving like a lot of advice, man. But it's just you just, if you're over driving the car, then yeah, okay, now it's time to go up. But if you're like not driving it to the point where you're just like beating the shit out of it and you don't know it, because it'll be this point where you're like, dude, there's nothing more I could do in this car.
Right.
When you get to that point, you get that feeling that, all right, now time to go to the angle, time to go to this. Little bit more power up.
Mm-hmm.
When you're just like no respect for the throttle, then you could probably use more power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're like, fuck, there's too much, then probably back it off a little bit, or just don't go 90%, 100%, 80% throttle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good, man. But again, guys out there, again, this has been Jared here. Again, guys there who want to get into the coilovers and everything like that. Again, if you're a serious driver, like I said on the thing, serious driver, I'll put the information there. Send me your application. I'll evaluate it, see what you want to do, and we'll go from there. Again, everybody is not going to be sponsored by this. I'm not looking to sponsor the world. I want to have drivers in regions of the world, a couple of drivers, and that's pretty much it. So I got one up here in Misawa. I got one guy in Okinawa who he just signed his contract, and we'll do his announcement once it's official. So I'm not looking to have it's just not my goal. I'm doing it different, and also I don't want to use it as a sales tactic to try to sell, because I'm not actually making money, and that's one thing. The money will be made off of his promotions and things like that, and me selling them on selling them on the strength of just selling them. So that's part of the sponsor. You got to be able to relinquish, because sponsors is all about getting your stuff out there. You're gonna lose money. And that's why, like we were mentioning offline, certain drivers got to send emails and, hey man, sorry boss, it didn't go well, we'll try next week. And then you're doing that 10 times in a row, all of a sudden you don't got that sponsor no more, or you have your discount is it's not there anymore. So it's sponsored thing is a business. And anybody who says otherwise, they're not doing it properly. This is a business agreement, and the reason why it's been done to actually help promote where he's going to be at, competing and stuff like that. I'm not going to be there, so they'll have me competing in somewhere else. And Nico, he's driving an MSP, so you got two different factions doing whatever and stuff like that. And even if the car drives well, it's just showing it. So again, if you're a serious driver out there, hit me up. It's going to be download at pinkustyle.com. I'll send you information, application, things like that. And we'll evaluate your program where you're at, and we'll go from there and make it happen. So again, it's going to be Dai signing off from Salvage Japan, Pinku Style Garage. Again, my guest Jared here. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Cool.